Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing? Welcome. And sorry my face is so dark. The sun is still coming through that window. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, you muted yourself.
We'll
There
just
you go.
have to deal with the fact that it's right there.
Yeah.
Because if I move this, then it's shining off my head, too. It's like I have a halo.
Hey, Larry, there it is.
Plus, behind me, I have my humidifier. So if you look closely, you can see the humidifier coming up.
Hey,
Hello,
Robin.
Robin. Man.
Yeah, at first I thought Connie had smoke coming out of her ears until I realized what it was.
Yeah. And now the sun is shining through through my glasses. Ah, I should have a hat on, but oh well, I'm not going to go get a hat. So we will just deal with it for a little while. It should be going down here. Let's see, where is it? It should be going down soon.
Yeah,
But
because
it's
it's
coming through the
3 p.m. here, so
yeah,
y'all are probably at your brightest.
right. Hold on a second. My sister-in-law just sent me a message. She's not doing well. Oh no. She's been having really bad back pain. They did an MRI and found out that two of her vertebrae are like dust. They're not there. Naked. Okay, I'm back.
Are they going to replace them?
I don't know. Don't know. Cause she just went today. I am doing good, Robin. I'm just yawning apparently. Well,
Hey,
I am going to switch my camera so you guys can see what I'm actually working on because you can't see it. And then you won't have to worry about the sun. And then hopefully in a couple of minutes, um, when I come back, you'll be able to see me better. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, I don't. And thank you, Liz. Yeah, I hate hearing about that. She goes, um, she goes, they've lied to me my whole life. They told me getting old was great experience. She goes, and that I'd love it. She goes, that's bull, because now I'm in so much pain.
I'm right there with her.
Right. Okay, let me switch these cameras so that you guys can see what I am doing.
I got laughed at all day today because
Uh
it was
huh.
so hot and humid, just literally wringing with sweat. It was
Right.
71 today with no humidity, and I have been in sweatpants and sweatshirt all day long because I'm freezing. And Bill was
Um.
laughing at me. He said it's
Well,
71. I was like, I'm cold. Leave me alone.
well, I'm cold all the time because of losing weight, and Ron turns the air conditioner down, and then I'm like, Ron, I'm shivering, I'm freezing, I've got goosebumps, I am cold, and he goes, oh, sorry, some yahoo changed the air conditioner. I wonder who that yahoo is.
I
If I start to get cold, I'll go look and I'll switch it, and I never say anything to him. And then later he'll look at it and he'll go, oh, so you changed it. I said, yeah. And sometimes when I'm so cold, I'll go over and reach my hands up underneath his shirt and freeze him. And he's like, you are really cold. I said, I'm not lying when I'm saying I'm cold, you know. So
Larry,
what I'm doing, guys, is I'm just tying in all these looping ends, which is going to take me. I have what? What did we figure? 3 weeks.
yep.
But I gotta get ready for my lessons and my backdrop for my VBS because I have to have it done before I go get my grandson. And I'm not going by myself. I was going to, but Ron's like, no. You're not going to drive by yourself. He goes, that's over 7 hours by yourself, and then you have to turn around and do it again with you and a small child. He goes, no, I'm going with you. I said, okay. So that's fine with me. We
Larry's
were just
little
trying.
pictures are ready to go to their new home, and he got all the parts to his scroll boxes cut except for the sanding.
Awesome. And Larry, it is so sad that we lost Cliff. I've known him for years. I was introduced to him, oh gosh, back in, it's been over 5 years. But I'm sure you've known him a lot longer.
Yeah, when we took him Monday, it's a practice. He was seeing one eye doctor, the one I see is a different one. And
Uh-huh.
he came out and was talking to me. And she said, have you decided on the procedure? And I said, oh, yeah. I said, I'm doing it. She said, okay, let's get it scheduled. And I was like, all right. She said, what changed your mind? I said, that white dot in the middle of my eye that I can't see past.
Right. Which is no fun. So,
All right. That was for Anthony, sorry.
Okay. Thursday will be Kim G's painting that she won. And then,
Hey, Vicki,
yeah.
welcome in.
Hello, Vicki. Welcome in. I'm not seeing the chat move. What is going on?
Oh, I guess Larry didn't know.
Oh, there. Oh, you didn't know? I'm sorry. Charles put it up on Facebook.
Yeah, that's
He
how
had
I see it.
he had cancer, and Cliff finally let Charles say something, and he only survived what, 2 weeks, week and a
Yeah.
half.
I think more like a week and a half.
Yeah, he passed away from cancer. Was it brain cancer or?
I thought it was esophageal.
Oh, that's right. It was esophageal. Yeah, Liz, he passed away yesterday. So
He said he put a post up about his obituary and the service and everything.
right. So I'm just trying to maneuver this big old blanket around, trying to get all the ends, and then I will start on the
Circles.
the inside ones. But
Really?
what?
Cash just stretched. Went, He had a hard day laying out there in the sun. Yeah, I know. It was tough today, wasn't it? Time we went looking for him, he was stretched out in the front yard.
Yeah.
I was glancing out there. I was like, he's sleeping again. Yes,
So I hope everyone has had a good week or a good few days. I saw most of you on Sunday.
Say so far.
That's good.
Gas went down. That was a plus, and I had to put gas in the car.
Yes, it has. And stock market shot up. And yep.
You already had your treat. Don't try that with me. I'm the one that gave it to you. Sorry. Dogs.
So what I'm doing, how I hide my ends, is I sew, put the needle right through all the other strands of the yarn, and that kind of grabs them and holds on to them. So that way I don't have to, whoops. That is Cash. He likes me. He likes me to sing to him. Her dog. I like to sing anyway, period. But he likes me to sing to him. He sings along with me.
No.
Is he listening to my voice?
Back off me.
He's like, but Mom.
We got back from the doctor yesterday, and I specifically told him to stay out of my bed. He had all the bedclothes pulled into the floor and was laying on top of them. And I just came in and I looked and I said, you're a rotten little shit. I said, you did that just because I told you not to.
I was going to say, well, he wasn't in your bed.
No, he wasn't in my bed. That is true. That's the only thing that saved him.
Yeah.
He gets mad. He wants to go everywhere. And I told him we can't take him everywhere.
Right.
I was going to take him to the Starbucks to get him his first pup cup because I don't think he's ever had one, but ours closed.
Okay, so this is what I do. As I only give the dogs one TREAT, and I'm not saying it out loud because there's ears listening, and he knows what that word means. So when he was a baby, we took him and he got a pup club. Well, he loved it so much, we decided we buy Cool Whip, and my daughter was doing the sugar-free, and we found out that is poison to dogs.
Yes.
So we switched to just regular. So every night when I do my drink, they get 2 little squirts, dollops, and like a pup cup, and they love it.
Well, he already gets 2 TREATs. One at 8, and
so do they.
Daddy gives him one at 2. He gets
Ron
wafers at 2:00.
Yeah, Ron gives them 2, but then in the morning, because Ron used to give him part of his bagel, which I put a stop to that. I said, Ron, you can't give him that.
That has really bad.
Well, he's got really bad stomach issues anyway, and there's just too many ingredients. Dogs really shouldn't have a lot of spices or salt, and everything is cooked with salt, and it's not good for dogs. So I just told him, and he goes, but he sits and barks at me. I said, then you go in the kitchen when you're getting your bagel, you get a slice of cheese, cut it up in little tiny pieces, and give that to him. He goes, he can have cheese? I'm like, yeah, he can have cheese. So that's what he does. He gives him cheese. And instead of one little slice of cheese. So he gets that every morning.
Yeah,
he's like,
cheese. He's like,
yeah, so
he likes the sharp cheddar the best.
I don't care if it's sharp or medium or anything, but right now I've been getting the mild because that's what they've had. They haven't had any of the sharp. I prefer medium over all, but they haven't been having it in the big blocks that I buy. And it costs more money to buy 2 small blocks than it does to buy 1 big box.
But I get that Cabot's seriously short, and it's like super sharp. And I love it. I eat that every single day, at least a little piece.
Right.
And I was trying to explain to Renee, she kept telling me that her cheese was molding really fast. And I said, are you getting it out of the package? She said, yeah. And I said, are you touching it? She said, yeah. And I said, that's why it's molding. I said, don't touch it with your bare skin. I said,
You're
hold
adding
tight
bacteria.
because you have bacteria. Oh, I wash my hands. I said, don't matter. You still have bacteria on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
Well,
try it the way I'm telling you. I said, I found this out years ago. I said, as long as you don't touch it, it takes longer for it to start to go bad. Because she asked me, and I was
right. And well, the thing is
don't last long enough here to mold. Because they either
oh wow,
me
Vicky.
on it or I'm cooking with it.
Yeah. Well, see, the one thing that I found out a long time ago is even if the cheese molds, don't throw it away. Cut it
I
off.
ain't nope, nope. Bill tells me the same thing. Nope. If it's got mold on it, it's going in trash. I ain't eating it.
Then stop eating cheese. You know why?
That's what I said. It doesn't last long enough to mold. The couple of times that it has, I was just like, no. And Bill's like, well, I'm going to eat it. And I said, well, you can if you want. I said, but I'm not eating it.
Okay, let me tell you what in the process of making cheese is it molds on the
I know. I
outside.
don't see it. It doesn't matter if I can't see it.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay.
I love blue cheese, and blue cheese is mold.
I know that because that's my favorite.
And I was like, I just look at it different, Bill. I said, it's a brain thing. I said, so if you want to eat it, you can eat it. I said, but I will go buy me some new. But here, like, we figured out how much we can buy each month. And yes, because I only shop once a month, if I could possibly help.
We do a big one big shopping once a month, and then I go back for perishables as needed.
Milk and eggs, butter sometimes. Usually, because I freeze my butter, I get enough butter for the last. I and people, we go into Walmart, and I know those girls cringe when they see us come through the store because we usually have two buggies, and they're like, because that one she goes, "Wow, this is a lot," and I said, "We only shop once a month, and I hate shopping."
Yeah, I
could
get
shop
the things.
honestly, other than bread and milk and eggs and bread, and I don't really even have to do the bread because I could make my own, or I can make my own. I could go 3 or 4 months without shopping, but Bill can't.
I
He's the one that likes to shop, not me.
I love to shop, but I don't love to shop.
And now art supplies, evidently.
I do not love to shop with Ron. That's why he's grounded from going to the store with me. So he'll ask me occasionally, "Can I please go?" I'm like, "Well, are you going to be good? Because if you're not going to be good, no." The answer is no. I feel like I'm talking to a small child. But I don't know. One time I had to ground I grounded my daughter who used to live with us. I don't want to ever go to stores with her. She is not someone I like to go shopping with at all. And my youngest daughter, she used to be so horrible when she was a little kid. She always cried and threw a fit and wanted this, that, and the other, and I wouldn't give it to her. She'd start screaming. So finally, I said, "Fine, you're not going to the store with me for a year." And she started bawling and ran to her dad and, "Mom won't let me go to the store." And he Connie, and I went in. He goes, "You need to let her go." And I said, "No, I'm not. She's grounded." And he goes, "Why?" And I said, "Because I'm not putting up with it anymore." And he goes, "Well, you need to take her." I said, "Then you take her. I ain't taking her. She ain't going with me. I will not take that child with me until she learns the lesson that um, you will not throw a fit to have everything in the store." And she was grounded for a year, and she never did it again.
I am super surprised that Lorelai is such a good shop. Even as a baby, she likes to look. She don't necessarily like to buy, but she does like to look, especially at clothes.
Yeah. Well, my daughter, Ash, my oldest daughter, Jess, her kids never threw fits in the store. Never. They would just walk behind her. But see, I babysat kids for 12 years in my home. And I would take them to the grocery store. I would take them to the doctors. I would take them everywhere. I never had a problem. But she was my youngest, and her dad let her get away with everything. And I didn't, and I wouldn't. And he would say, "Oh, don't." She'd start crying. "Don't make the baby cry." So she's not a baby, and I don't care if she cries or not. She's not getting it. I'm not giving in to her little fits. And guess what? She ended up being our hardest child. And yeah, in fact, she's my only child that's never moved back and lived with us when she left. She never wanted to move back in with us. And I'm like, that's fine with me. Don't move back. I really don't want you living here. I don't want my children living here. Even though I've had them live with me, and I would never say no. The thing is, Liz, is she's not a daddy's girl. She's a mama's girl, but she knew how to work it. That was the difference. And
she was a daddy's girl when she wanted something.
Well, yes, but see, he used to get okay, so he was always, our girls were always daddy's girls. So Jessica, Ashley were daddy's girls. When Candace came along, she didn't favor him like that. She was like wanted to be inside my skin. I mean, she stuck to me like glue, and he couldn't get her to sway. So he would give her her way to get her to sway. It still didn't help. She just used it to her advantage.
Well, yeah, they will. Kids are smarter than people give them credit for.
Oh, yeah. So she was not disciplined the way the rest of my kids were, because my husband would not let me. And she ended up being a terrible teenager, got into a lot of trouble. And then when she decided it at almost 19, she got mad at her dad. They had a fight, a really bad fight. And my husband ended up taking her phone and crushing it. It was over her phone. And he ended up crushing her phone and breaking it so that she couldn't have it anymore. And she had her friend pick her up. And we didn't see her for over a week. And then when she came back, she got her stuff and she said, "I'm moving out." And she's never moved. She's never lived with us since. She moved in with her friends and this guy that she was dating. And the next thing I knew, they were in a relationship and they were getting an apartment, and she wanted us back in her life then. She didn't need to have us to take care of her anymore. And she's been with him for 13 years. They've been married for many, many years. Got 2 kids. Well, 3. One died. But they're now finally buying a house. So
I mean, me and Bill were married for 10 years when we bought this place.
Yeah, they it took them a long, long time to get out of a lot of debt. First, it took him getting a job where he actually made enough money that they could actually survive good. Thank you, Liz. They were just like paycheck to paycheck, and mainly it was because they had so they were in an apartment for a long time, and then they moved into a fifth wheel. When they moved into the fifth wheel, they had to put a ton of stuff into storage. Well, they had the storage, but it wasn't just a storage unit. It was bigger than their house. And he works on cars, and he has snowmobiles that he's got for almost nothing, and then refurbished them. And so they literally was paying more money to store their stuff than they were where they lived. And so finally he got a new job, making enough money that they could pay off all their bills. And now they're getting a house, and so they'll be able to get rid of the stored unit. And they won't have to pay that anymore. So I'm proud of them. And they're actually buying it's 2 houses on 1 lot of land. And his mom and her significant other, her boyfriend of 30 years, is going to move into one and pay half the mortgage, which will help them even more. So, and poor Ashley, my middle daughter, her husband makes more money than all of them, and they can't afford to buy a house because the houses in Salt Lake are so expensive that they can't even afford it. So they're hoping in about a year and a half to 2 years, they're moving to Texas. And this area that they're moving into is much lower cost of living. I told her to come to Kansas, and she said no. She goes, I don't want to live in Kansas. I said, you don't have to. But wherever she moves to, I will be moving there if Ron, he always has told me he's going to pass away before me. So when that happens, or if that happens, I will be moving to wherever my daughter Ashley is living. Not into her house, but to the town. And I told Ron, I said, I am not staying in this town away from all family if and when you pass. I mean, you're going to, but I just don't know if he's going to die before me or after me. But he says he's going to die before me. But we'll, because he's a lot older. But that really doesn't have anything to do with it.
Nope.
But yeah. So I might end up living in Texas. And my daughter's like, you don't plan on living with us? I said, no. And my daughter told her husband, you could build her a little in-law thing. And he goes, no, she can just live on a different property. He doesn't have anything against me at all. We get along really, really well. He just doesn't want me to have to live on the same property because he already is going to be the guardianship for his brother when his dad passes away. Because he is extremely autistic.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to have a guardian. So, and I think he's in his 30s, but he's rich. His brother is really super rich, so they don't have to worry about money. I guess they have different mothers. Or no, yeah, they have different mothers. And shortly after his dad and his brother's mother got a divorce, she was in a small airplane, and it crashed, and she died. And the plane was never supposed to have been up in the air. It had faulty stuff going on with it, and they sued, and they won, I think, a $5 million lawsuit or $10 million lawsuit, and all that money has been put into a trust in his dad's name, and then it will be changed to Andrew's name when his dad passes away to take care of his brother. And his brother gets an allowance every month, so he can't waste it because he loves to shop. Because he doesn't live with his dad anymore. He lives in a group home for kids like him, but he can go to the store. He gets online. But he's not stupid by no means, but he is, and he's like an 8-year-old child mentality wise. So, but yeah, Andrew will have him. So
Mm.
yeah, Andrew actually has 3 brothers, and they all have 3 of them have the same mom, and then the youngest one has the same dad, but brothers have none of his brothers share both parents. Mom's been married 3 times and had 3 kids, and the dad's been married 3 times and had 2 kids. Whatever. Not my problem. So. But his brother doesn't even remember his mom. He was only like 3 years old.
Yeah.
She died. He was really quite
surprised though, because Anthony was that age when my mom passed away, and he still remembers her because he'll bring her picture into me every once in a while.
He doesn't. He doesn't. Nothing. There's like no recollection there at all of her. And with his autism being so bad, yeah, there's nothing. He remembers. See, he'll call Andrew. I mean, okay, so they live in different states. He lives in Nevada, and Andrew lives in Utah, and he'll call Andrew every so often. He goes, "You haven't came over to see me in about a month. When are you coming again?" And that's just, he doesn't have any
concept
of time. And he'll say, "I want to go to the movies with you tonight." And he's like, "Buddy, we live like 600 miles away from each other." So, we're not going to see my great grandson yet. They're leaving Chicago area on Thursday, and my grandson's dad is flying there, I think tomorrow or maybe today, I can't remember. He took time off work and he has to get back to Las Vegas for work, so they can't take any extra time to stop anywhere. So plus they have 3 dogs, a cat, a lizard, and a baby to travel with.
Oh, sounds fun.
And one dog is over 200 pounds. So he is it's a type of a mastiff, but I can't remember which one it is. It's huge.
It's probably an English mastiff.
No, it's not. It's not called a mastiff, but it's in the mastiff family. I can't remember what it's called. King Corso. That's it.
Oh man, those are awesome dogs, but they are one family dogs.
Yeah.
They are super protective.
Oh yes, he is. In fact, when my grandson moved there, he was scared to death of that dog. He couldn't even be out at the same time. Kendrick would have to go into the bedroom when she would let the dog out and back in. He was scared to death of him. But then last year, when her dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and they had to go to Oregon, she had to take her dog because you can't put that kind of a dog into boarding.
Yeah.
Nobody would even take him. And so they had to be in the same car with each other, and they became friends. But now that and they're still friends, but now that the baby is there, that dog protects that baby. He cries. He looks at them like, "What are you doing to my baby? You stop making that baby cry." So, but then they have 2 chihuahuas too, and a cat, and a little. If
We
the
had
a lot.
I had an old mixed breed that when my mom died the year my mom died, 96, the only thing Andrew asked for Christmas was a puppy. So he got a puppy.
Right,
And it was his puppy now, but it was Anthony's dog. He picked Anthony. And
right.
I was just like, and every time Anthony would have a meltdown,
Mm,
he'd bite the nearest person, just assuming that they did something to make him, cry. He
right.
had a meltdown one day so bad he stomped in a plate that it had a sister's quote on it, and that Renee had got me. It was on top of my TV cabinet, and when
Mhm.
he stomped, that plate bounced, and it come down off there and hit that dog right in the top of the head. And
Uh-huh.
he just like looked up and he looked at Anthony, shook the glass off his head, and laid down in the corner like, "Okay, I'm done."
Right. Okay.
And after that, he would go to Anthony when he had a meltdown, but he wouldn't bother anybody because Bill was sitting. He's like, he said, kept looking at him. He's like, "We didn't do anything to him."
Right.
But I started just telling Anthony, I said, "You're scaring the puppy," and a lot of times that would snap him out of a meltdown.
Right.
He'd just stop. He'd look down at him, and he'd whack. Well, to him, he was petting. It was a little heavy-handed, in my opinion, but the dog didn't seem to mind. He patted
Right.
him on the head, and he went to his room.
Mhm.
But yeah, he was a good dog. He had every seems like every time I go, and maybe they do it to pull at people's heartstrings. Every dog I've adopted, they were carrying to the euthanasia room when I rescued them. Because I'd be going like, "Where's that dog going?" "Oh, where do you?" I said, "No, bring back here. Let me see that dog."
Right.
I mean, I'm getting one anyway. Might as well save one. But
Exactly.
every one of the dogs that I've adopted has turned out to be really good dogs. And
Um.
people would be surprised how many full-blooded dogs are in shelters.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe beagles sometimes end up in shelters. Up until a couple of years ago, beagles was the most sought after dog to have, and now it's coming back because of all the rescues and stuff. Because beagles, you can hurt them, and they'll still love you. You can make them sick, and they'll still love you, and that makes it prey to testing because they can do whatever they want to the dog and the dog will still love them, which is really sad.
Well, they also used to because they have a really thick skull.
Yes, they do. Tell me about it.
And no, I mean physically, they have their skull
I know.
in a Saint Bernard's and a German or not German Shepherd, a Malinois,
Uh-huh.
have the thickest skulls.
I know. I He has ran into me with that skull and it hurts and bruises me.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm aware. It's very he used to when he was a baby, he would sneeze and he'd hit his head on the ground and the whole room shook. I'm like,
Our Saint Bernard used to do that, and then turn around, and look behind him to see who did it. I'm looking at him, I was like, "You did it
exactly,
yourself, you idiot."
exactly.
I'm
He was
not.
just a tiny.
I said
He was
Saint
like eight
Bernard. That's
weeks
not what I
old.
meant. I meant Great Dane. I was
Yeah,
thinking Saint
he,
Bernard.
yeah. He was only 8 weeks old, and oh, you do that, and you poor thing. Stop sneezing and hitting
I
the
would not
floor with
mind
your
having
head.
another Great Dane, but this house is just not big enough for a Great Dane.
Oh yeah, I don't want a big dog. I don't want to pick up that big of poop.
Well, with the amount of property we're on, we don't. They have a spot they go in, so we don't have to worry about that. It, I was. That's one of the reasons I wanted a larger piece of property because I knew we wanted dogs.
Well,
I've spent 2 years, only 2 years of my life, of my almost 61 years, have I not had a dog in my life. And that was the most miserable 2 years I can remember.
when I was growing up, we had a few dogs, but we had cats all the time. And
We didn't have very many cats.
we
Back,
always had cats.
I think we only had two cats when I was growing up. And they were
Mm.
both
At one time, we had 18 cats. Which,
no, my dad would not have stood. My dad hated cats.
oh, my stepdad loved all animals, definitely cats.
Well, I mean, he wasn't mean to them. Well, with the exception of a couple of times, but he was, he just didn't want cats in the house. And I'm
Oh,
just
my,
like, we live on a farm. They can live in the barn, as long as I can still have a cat.
yeah, my dad, he loved cats. My stepdad did. And we always had
Bill
cats.
always told me he hated cats until we got one.
Mm.
And he goes, I guess they're not so bad. Yeah, I said, yeah, I guess not now. Ever since then, we've always had a cat.
Ron's dad said he hated cats. And they always had cats, though. But he said he hated them. And my mother-in-law would find him out in the shed where he smoked his cigarettes with the cat, feeding the cat a can of tuna.
One of my older brothers, Ronnie, I only know this as from a story because I was too little to remember because I was just a baby. But Renee said he was the worst one for bringing home animals. He would just, and he come home one day and he had a rope tied around this dog's neck and the end of the rope tucked in his back pocket. Told mom, dad, said, it just followed me home.
Oh, yeah. It just followed you home.
Yeah, he was always injured. If he found an injured animal, wild or domestic, he would bring it home, take care of it, and then find it a home.
Right.
Or release it back into the wild, when possible. It wasn't always possible.
Well, see, my stepdad always would bring home animals, cats and stuff. And when he was a teenager, or not it's before he was a teenager, they had orchards on their farm. So they had, because he lived in Southern California, their orchards were avocados, oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruits. They might have had more. They had thousands and thousands of acres. And every so often, they would get a gopher or more than one. And the gophers will kill the trees.
Yeah.
Because they destroy the roots. And so my grandpa would go, hey Bob, and he goes, we got a gopher out by these trees. Can you take care of that? He goes, oh sure. So he'd leave, and he'd come back with gopher snakes hanging around his neck, 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and then he would put them down the gopher holes, and then they wouldn't have no more gophers.
Welcome back, Vicki.
Welcome back. But he loved snakes. He got bit by a rattlesnake, and he come walking home, and his mom looks at him, this hole in his arm, and she goes, what happened? He goes, I got bit by a rattlesnake. And she goes, you what? And he goes, I got bit by a rattlesnake. And she goes, okay, well, we got to go to the hospital. Okay, so she didn't know how to drive. She didn't have a driver's license. And they had a truck, an old Ford that was stick shift and completely manual. And she had to learn how to drive it while driving him to the hospital. And when they got to the hospital, I mean, it was like a jerking and jerking. He said he remembered it. He goes, I remember she was jerking all over the place. Plus, he had his two sisters with him, one 2 years younger than him and one 2 years older than him. And when they got to the hospital, they called their dad, and he was he was somewhere. I don't remember where he was because he wasn't at school because there was no school because he was a teacher. But he came and they gave him the antidote and bandaged it up, and they left. And she had to drive because they only had 2 trucks. She had to drive the truck back home, jerking away. And I asked her, I said, so did you decide to learn how to drive? And she goes, no, I do not want to drive. I'm not going to learn how to drive. And so she didn't. Then after her husband passed away, she decided in her 80s, she was going to learn how to drive. So her daughter, my dad's his older sister, took her out in their old 1964 VW Bug to teach her how to drive. And she was doing okay in a parking lot. And then she had her pull out into the street. And when a car was coming towards her, she put her hands up and hid her face and started screaming. Well, that was the end of that. She didn't get her license. She never got back behind the steering wheel again. My mother-in-law and my grandmother never learned how to drive either.
My dad tried to teach me to drive standard in a Pinto. Remember Pintos?
Yeah, my sister had one.
Popped a wheelie. When the car came down on the ground, my dad looked at me and said, "Get the hell out of the driver's seat."
That VW Bug was the vehicle I learned how to drive in. I learned how to drive a stick shift before I ever learned how to drive an automatic. My grandpa taught me. So, yeah, that was the vehicle that I learned on. Me and my sister both. We learned on that VW.
I do not have good coordination. And it's like, you said that you were very athletic and all that.
Oh, yeah.
I could not. I didn't go out for any of that because I didn't have the coordination to do it. And I knew that. And I have very poor coordination in my hands.
Yeah, see, I had no problems at all. Neither. The thing is my sister learned how, but then she didn't get her license until she was 50 or 55 or something like that. About 50, I think it was, when she got her license. She just never did. And but I did, boy. I wanted my license, and I went after it, and I got it. But my mom the reason why I learned in the VW Bug was because my mom would not let me drive her car. And so I'm like, well, how am I going to learn? And she goes, you can ask your grandpa to teach you. But then she wouldn't take me to she wouldn't let me to go take my license. So I graduated from high school a month before I turned 19. And a week later, I got on an airplane and I flew to Arizona. Or not to Arizona, to San Jose, where my brother lived. And I was living with him for a little while, and then I was moving out because I did not get along with his wife. And my brother says, well, you need a vehicle. I said, yeah, but I can't afford a vehicle. And he goes, well, I'll sell you mine, and you can just pay, only pay $200 for it, and you only have to pay like $20 a month. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't have a license, and I was getting ready to leave, and he goes, well, do you have your license? I said, yes. And he goes, okay. I told him yes because I knew he wouldn't let me take the car, and I needed the car to go to work. And so, because where I was moving, there was no bus access. So he gave me the car, and the next day or a couple of days later after I got moved and then I got the car, I drove myself to the VMD, took the test and passed it with flying colors and drove home. But it was an automatic. But we've had me and Ron have had several stick shifts. Back when we got married, he had a stick shift. My car that I had, that car that I got from my brother-in-law and my sister needed, their car had broke down and they needed a car. And so I let them have it. They'd been doing all the maintenance to it and everything anyway. You can just have the car. So I signed it over to them because I was getting married and Ron had a car. So, but
It's still nice of you.
thanks. Well, they let me live in their house with rent free, and I had a baby, and while I was living with them, and they helped me, so I was just helping them back. But if you talk to her, she'd tell you I never did anything. But that's okay. I don't care. Because I know what I did. I took care of her kids for her. I cooked. I cleaned. I gave them a car. Yeah. And then as soon as I no longer lived there, they ran it into the ground in about 4 months. Because they stopped doing the maintenance. But when I lived there, I told them, you cannot drive my car unless you do the maintenance. I made them do the maintenance because it was an old car. This was 1983, and the car was a 1974, and it had over 200,000 miles on it. So I made them do maintenance on it. In fact, I even took the keys away from them. I went with my brother-in-law and got everything he needed to do the tune-up and oil change, and we'd get it, and then we'd come back home, and I'd say, "Okay, now give me the keys. You're not driving this car till it's done." He would go ahead and do it.
Yeah, my little brother went, I don't know how many cars he went through. Okay, Larry. Larry says he has to charge his phone.
Okay, Larry, you have a good night. Thanks for coming.
And we were out at our parents' house out when they lived at the farm. And my dad asked him, he said, the car sounds like running rough. He said, when's the last time you changed the oil? And he goes, I've never changed the oil. I had the car for 2 years and never changed the oil in it.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, looked at him and I was like, I don't have a car yet. And even I know you have to change the oil.
Right. Yep.
And see, I know that it was just stupidity on his part and laziness, because we had to go out and help my dad change the oil in the car every time he changed it, so we'd learn how to change the oil in the car.
Well, yeah, when I left
home, it wasn't a request; it was a requirement.
Right. When I left home, I could change tires, I could change oil, I could change the air filter. I knew how to do diagnostic. I could change spark plugs. I could do all that stuff because my mom and my stepdad made dang sure that we all knew how to do it. Even though she wouldn't let me drive her car, I knew how to take care of it. You know? Well, I'm going to be getting off of here in a couple of minutes. I've done quite a bit on this. I still have a lot more to go, but at least I'm on the right track. Huh?
You got most of it done.
Well, I've done 3 rows. I think 3 rows. And yeah, this is the last one on this row. And I've got 7 total. So I got 4 more. I'm almost halfway done with it. So I'm going to finish this one. And then I will get off of here. But I'm roasting. And this room is usually the coldest room in the house besides my craft room and my sewing room, and I'm roasting. Probably because I got this. This is the problem with this blanket. It's not the right time of year to be working on such a heavy blanket. It's not even on my lap. I had it on my lap when I was hooking them all together, and I thought I was going to die.
Exactly, Robin. Robin said her too, Connie. And I'll tell you what, when I took driver's ed, part of our driver's ed was knowing how to check your oil, check your transmission fluid, change a tire, jump a battery.
Right.
We had to learn all of that for driver's ed.
Well, you know, right after I moved. Okay, so when I was living in San Jose when I got the car, and then I was moving to Utah, and so I went and took the car and got a tune-up, made sure it was all good to drive 800 and something miles, and across the, you know, from San Jose to Salt Lake, and my sister and brother-in-law was like, well, why did you do that, Mom? Because it needed it. Duh. I hadn't had it really long, and I have not put any, you know, I hadn't gotten an oil change. I only had it for less than probably 3 to 4 months. And so I thought, you know what? I don't know how long it's been since my brother did it. I'll do it. So. All right. I think I'm going to get off of here, get my hair up off my neck, because I'm roasting. But thank you guys for coming. This Thursday is Kim G's painting. I'll be doing that. Then bingo, and then back to another painting on Sunday. So thank you guys for coming. Let me switch my camera. I got to switch it so you can actually see me. There we go. It's still light outside.
Hi, Diane. Bye, Diane.
Hi, Diane. Yeah, I'm getting off of here. Did you get your tracking number? I sent it to you. Oh, welcome back, Liz. Yeah, so Oh, you were lurking? Awesome. Yeah, so yeah, I sent your tracking number to you a little while ago. A couple hours ago, maybe. Even though I sent it this morning, I took it to the post office, or the post office this morning. And I thought, oh, I better send you guys the tracking number. Oh, okay, Diane. Let me know if you don't get it, but you should get it. If not, I'll resend it to you. All right, guys. I'm gonna get off of here. I'm hot, which is weird, but I am. And I will see you guys hopefully all on Thursday. And thank you, Annie. Excuse me. Thank you, Annie, for being here.
You're welcome. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.